America, get ready for the revolution. Patriot groups are on the rise. A new report out of the Southern Poverty Law Center shows a 244% jump in these new groups. But how dangerous are these people? And are they really anti-government? Here to answer these questions and more is Jim Stachowiak, host of American Resistance Radio. Hey there, Jim. The SPLC characterizes these groups as people who engage in groundless conspiracy theorizing or advocate or adhere to extreme anti-government doctrines. Now, you say that you've been targeted by them. Do you fit into this category?
Absolutely, and I'm not ashamed to say I'm to wear the label. I find it quite interesting that that our government, FEMA, the new F word, has labeled the founding fathers terrorists, yet those today that are willing to defend the Constitution against a tyrannical government are also being labeled with the same labels. Ron Paul, a 70-something-year-old man, a domestic terrorist? I think not. We're not here to fight the government. We're here to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. Are we a threat? Well, we will just say we will not be disarmed. We will not fire the first shots, but rest assured, millions of Americans, thousands of cells nationwide are prepared to resist mandatory gun disarmament, and we will not go down the path of Australia, UK, or Canada to gun disarmament. It will not happen.
Let's talk real quick a little bit about the Southern Poverty Law Center. On their website,
yes,
they say...
They labeled me last month, they put me on the list for advocating the intensification of the hatred to tyranny. I've now been recently added to that, to their list. Go ahead. I'm about it.
On their website, it says that the organization is dedicated to fighting hate and bigotry and to seeking injustice for the most vulnerable members of society. Are you somebody that threatens those vulnerable members of society?
Absolutely not. I have friends of various religions, various colors. You know what the question needs to be asked is about the $112 million that Mark Poltock of the Southern Poverty Law Center raised last year by riding a wave of hatred and fear in order to get donations. The resistance movement, the militia movements of America, have people of various races, various religions. But at the same time, we realize there are bad militias too that are racist, just like there's bad politicians, yet we have good ones too, like Ron Paul.
Let's talk about these right-wing extremist groups around the United States. Do you think that there actually is a rise in these groups?
Absolutely, because, you know, what Americans are realizing is that it's not D.C. We're finally realizing, as James Madison said, that the ultimate authority resides in the people, and that if the federal government gets too powerful and oversteps its authority, then the people would develop plans of resistance and resort to arms. And when a government betrays the people by amassing too much power, by becoming tyrannical, we the people will have no choice but to exercise the original right of self-defense to fight the government, and that's Alexander Hamilton. And if the people think those are radical quotes, they are not Americans, because that's what this nation was founded upon. This weapon I hold in my hand right now is to protect us against tyranny, as Jefferson said, which is the liberty teeth of the people. We will defend, not attack.
How did you feel? I mean, you said that the SPLC has actually targeted you. What was your reaction to that when you found out that you were sort of on the list?
I went out and had a beer that weekend, actually, and went out and listened to some live music, and I celebrated. I've been wanting to get on their list ever since I knew about them, okay? Because that means I'm over the target, okay? I'm over the target, and I want to thank Mark Poltock and the Southern Poverty Law Center for their demonization of right-wing militants, people that are questioning authority, which is a patriotic thing to do, because this sudden rise is attributed directly to their demonization. The harder they push us, the more the rise increases. It is proportional to the amount of attacks against us is why these groups are raising. There are thousands of cells, I am here to tell you, in this nation that not even the DHS is aware of, that are off the grid, that don't even use the internet for communications. We have a secure communications network that even Homeland Security can't penetrate, and they can't bring our movement down because we have no leaders. We're a leaderless resistance united in concept against tyranny.
It's pretty interesting, though. I mean, you say you went out and had a beer when you found out you were put on their list, but part of their thing is they're calling people like you dangerous. I mean, Do you agree with that? And the other people on the list too are actually posing a dangerous threat to society?
Well, the question needs to be asked, if we're a danger, why aren't they targeting the President of the United States, who has Bill Ayers, who is responsible for 30-plus bombings of federal buildings, civilian targets, and military installations in the 70s. Bill Ayers, our president is a danger. The members of Congress are a danger. Who's killing who? Okay? We got police officers in the United States that are shooting unarmed Americans in the back. Okay? We're the most heavily incarcerated country in the world. In fact, there's more people in prison for victimless crimes than Russia and China combined. So we are a police state, and we are definitely under a guise of tyranny right now, and it's fixing to get hard. And I'm hoping that we can save this republic peacefully, but I seriously doubt it, because every time we try to do something peacefully, they push us out, they suppress our free speech. There's a revolution coming, and the only thing we can control is the character. It's up to them whether it'll go violent, not us.
Talk to me about this revolution. I mean, you obviously have some pretty strong opinions, and you associate with a lot of people who feel pretty strongly as well. Is there a plan in place to try to, you know, do something about your anger?
Well, absolutely, there's a plan, and our plan is to support all political means and to exhaust all political means, such as the Continental Congress that Bill Schultz had convened a few months ago, and still pass out leaflets, flyers, educate the public with DVDs. As long as we are able to gather in the streets and distribute our communication, have shows like me talking to you, then it won't go violent. But the day they shut down our free speech is the day the revolution will go violent, or the day they decide to disarm us, it'll go violent. Because rest assured, the actions of the past that result in various consequences repeated today will have the same consequences.
All right, Jim Stachowiak, thanks so much for joining us.